Have you ever seen Trump when the lights went out at his rally?
No.
Okay. So the lights go out in one of his early rallies. That could have been a bad thing. And then he takes control of it. Take a look.
Put them in our jails. Because to put them in our jails, they didn't pay the electric bill. To put them, oh, I like that much better. No, get those lights off. Off. Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn them off.
The man is a genius. He's a PR genius.
He has them cheering for the thing that was originally embarrassing. You have a rally, you can't even keep the lights on. What do you see him doing there?
To interpret a text, to say the opposite of what the text is supposed to mean. So, you know, I'm a medievalist. My kind of original material was the Middle Ages. So one of the things you see in medieval Europe is the way that the Catholic Church can interpret things. It has a monopoly on interpretation. So you have the Sermon on the Mount, in which Jesus talks about, you know, love and compassion, and if somebody slaps you, you should turn the other cheek, and so forth. And you have medieval commentators explaining how this actually means that we should persecute heretics and burn them at the stake. And this, they really do it.
And burning people alive is not turning the other cheek.
It is. They find an interpretation that by saving them in this way from the flames of hell, this is actually doing them a favor and being compassionate to all the other people who might have been affected.
I want to be clear with everyone. We don't have reports of people eating pets in the United States. And Trump has been pushing this based on what he has, his what you call information. He was fact-checked over it at the debate. Take a look.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
What is it doing? Like, someone else would watch that and say, this sounds bananas, and would seem to be hurtful to him.
Yeah.
It correlates with his larger attacks on immigrants. But you have an information theory that says, don't look at the veracity to understand this. Look at its reward. At least that's how I read it.
The reward is everybody is now talking about immigration.
Aha.
You know, in politics, the big question is not what are the answers. The big question is what are the questions.
Bars, yeah.
You know, if this election would be about immigration, Trump wins. If this election is about climate change, Harris wins. So deciding what is the issue everybody is talking about is the most important thing. And if everybody is now talking about immigration because of this ridiculous story, the immigrants are coming to eat our cats, in a way it still serves the purpose.
Very smart. Are you familiar with another thing that's not true? And again, I take this part seriously, so I'm careful to say, which is an allegation I'm not going to repeat about J.D. Vance and the sofa.
No.
Okay. So it was a sort of a joke, but jokes can do a lot of work. And it was suggesting something I'm not going to repeat in detail, but that somehow he had some personal sexual activity with a sofa. And so here's some headlines, what the J.D. Vance couch jokes say about social media. Tim Walz, J.D. Vance joke throws dirt, meaning getting rough with them by using lies. Quote, some say it's about time. Now, these are people who know this to be false. And now I'm going to show you some of these. Again, we're not trying to get into the thing, just like the pets. But here's some of how pretty top Democrats have gone there.
I can't wait to debate the guy. That is, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did there? His running mate, as you probably have heard, is getting known for his obsession with couches.
Trust Donald Trump and JD Vance to look out for your family? I wouldn't trust them to move my couch.
How does that relate to what you say about false information, and is that bad?
Again, I think what is really bad about it is that in this case, it doesn't matter even if it's true or false.
Do you see Democrats echoing the Trump approach to lying? Because people say, oh, that's how you get tough.
It's now the currency all over the place, that this is how the game is played, and everybody's playing it.
Okay. Last question is more simple. Someone listens to you, they read the book, they say, you seem like you got all these thoughts, you have warnings. If they become concerned, upset, depressed about these warnings or the conditions in their place, whether it's any country, as a citizen, what do you say to them? What do you do when you have that feeling? Final question.
Join an organization. That if you really want to make a difference in the world, if you're concerned in the sense that you want to change things, it will be very, very difficult to do anything by your own. 50 people who work together in an organization, in an institution, can accomplish far, far more than 500 isolated individuals.
Yuval Noah Harari, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Really great to do it in person. The book is Nexus, A Brief History of Information Networks from the Stone Age to AI. You can get it wherever you get your books.